Absolutely. Here's a longer version with more detail, emotion, and smoother storytelling while keeping your original message and tone. Alex Eala's national identity questioned on live television. A single sentence on live television made people question a proud athlete's entire national story, and it left many fans stunned that a major international network could get something so basic so wrong. During a CBC News broadcast covering the Canadian Open, the anchor introduced rising tennis star Alex Eala as an American of Filipino origin.
Alex Eala is an American of Filipino origin. She's not a Canadian. So why is she getting all this attention, do you think?
I just think she represents the Philippines in a way that makes all of us so proud. She speaks the language. She is so incredibly, she's such an iconic representation for us, and we just all kind of want to rally behind her and support her. And when Filipinos support, they support big and they support really deep. So I think that she's just like the perfect person to be there.
For some viewers, it may have sounded like nothing more than a quick mistake during a live broadcast. But for thousands of Filipino fans watching that moment, it felt like much more. It felt like a part of Alex Eala's identity had suddenly been erased on live television. And that raises an important question. How can an athlete who has spent years representing one country be introduced as belonging to another? To understand why this moment created such a strong reaction, you first have to understand who Alex Eala really is and what she represents to Filipino sports fans. Alex Eala was born in Quezon City, Philippines. From the beginning of her professional journey, she has represented her home country on the international tennis stage. Her career has taken her far beyond the Philippines. She trained for years at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain, surrounded by players and coaches from different parts of the world. She has competed across Europe, Asia, North America, and many other locations as she followed the demanding schedule of professional tennis. She has also played numerous tournaments in the United States and spent significant amounts of time traveling outside the Philippines. But none of that changed the country she represents. And this is an important distinction that is sometimes overlooked when athletes build international careers. Tennis is one of the most global sports in the world. Players travel constantly. They train in one country, compete in another, work with coaches from completely different backgrounds, and spend months away from their families. Some young players even leave their home countries as teenagers because they need access to better facilities, stronger competition, and specialized coaching. But traveling abroad does not automatically change an athlete's national identity. For Alex Eala, the flag she carries has remained the Philippine flag. Her international journey has never meant leaving her country behind. In fact, her success abroad has made her connection to the Philippines even more visible. Every major victory brings attention back home. Every ranking milestone becomes a major story among Filipino sports fans. And every time she steps onto an international court representing the Philippines, she carries the hopes of fans who have followed her journey from the beginning. Alex has already made history several times. She became the first Filipino player to win a junior Grand Slam singles title, a milestone that immediately placed her name in Philippine sports history. That achievement was not simply another trophy. For Filipino tennis fans, it was proof that a player from the Philippines could reach a level that very few had reached before. And Alex did not stop there. She continued working through the difficult transition from junior tennis to the professional level. That transition can be extremely challenging for any young player. The competition becomes stronger. The opponents become more experienced. The travel becomes more demanding. The expectations become heavier. And every loss can feel like a setback when an athlete is trying to establish herself at the highest level. But Alex continued moving forward. She eventually rose to become the highest-ranked Filipino tennis player in history. That achievement gave her career an even greater meaning for fans back home. Suddenly, she was not just a promising young athlete. She was becoming one of the most important names in Philippine tennis. And behind those achievements was a journey filled with sacrifice. Alex left her family as a teenager to pursue elite training overseas. Think about what that means. While many teenagers are still spending most of their time with family, friends, and classmates, Alex was already adapting to an entirely different lifestyle. She had to live far from home. She had to train for hours. She had to travel constantly. She had to adjust to different cultures, different environments, different opponents, and different expectations. And she had to do all of that while continuing to develop mentally and physically as a young athlete. There were victories, but there were also difficult losses. There were exciting tournaments, but there were also long flights, exhausting training sessions, and periods of being away from the people she loved. Yet, throughout that journey, she continued to maintain a strong connection with Filipino fans. She has spoken with supporters in Tagalog and continued to proudly represent the Philippines at major international events. That is exactly why the CBC comment stung so much. It was not simply about one incorrect word. For many fans, it touched something much deeper. It seemed to overlook years of sacrifice, hard work, and national pride connected to Alex's journey. Imagine following an athlete from the beginning of her career. You watch her leave home at a young age. You watch her train overseas. You watch her compete against players from around the world. You watch her make history. And then, during an international broadcast, you hear her introduced as an American of Filipino origin. Of course, people are going to notice. And of course, people are going to ask questions. At the same time, it is important to be fair. Mistakes do happen, especially during live television broadcasts. Anchors are working under time pressure. Information is coming at them quickly. Segments can change at the last moment. And sometimes, a presenter simply says the wrong thing. That means it is entirely possible that the CBC statement was nothing more than an honest mistake. There is no clear evidence that the comment was intentionally made to erase or change Alex's identity. But even if it was accidental, the reaction from fans is understandable. Major networks have a responsibility to provide accurate information, especially when discussing athletes competing at major international events. Nationality is not a minor detail when you are talking about an athlete who represents a country. It is part of the athlete's story. It is part of how fans connect with them. And in Alex Eala's case, it is directly connected to the historic significance of her career. Her achievements have helped raise the profile of Philippine tennis. Young Filipino athletes can now look at her journey and see something that may have seemed almost impossible before. They can see someone from their own country competing internationally. They can see the Philippine flag beside some of the biggest names in tennis. They can imagine themselves reaching that level one day. That is the power of representation. And that is why moments like this can create such a strong emotional response. For many Filipino fans, Alex is not simply another tennis player. She represents possibility. She represents perseverance. She represents a generation of Filipino athletes who are proving that talent from the Philippines can compete on the biggest stages in the world. Her success has also shown that an athlete can build an international career without losing their connection to home. She can train in Spain. She can compete in Canada. She can play tournaments in the United States. She can travel throughout Europe and Asia. She can work with people from dozens of different countries and still proudly represent the Philippines. That is not a contradiction. That is simply what modern professional sports looks like. An athlete's career may be international, but their national representation can remain clear. And for Alex, that representation has been consistent throughout her journey. So, was the CBC statement simply a slip of the tongue? Was it caused by confusion surrounding Alex's international training and extensive travel? Or should more research have been done before introducing an athlete who has already made such a significant impact on Philippine sports? Those questions remain open. Unless the network provides a specific explanation, we may never know exactly why the mistake happened. But one thing is not in question. Alex Eala's story is deeply connected to the Philippines. She was born in the Philippines. She represents the Philippines. She has made history for the Philippines. And she has spent years carrying the Philippine flag onto courts around the world. Her journey began when she was still a young girl with a dream. Since then, she has traveled thousands of miles, faced some of the toughest competition in tennis, experienced victories and defeats, and continued pushing herself forward. Her rise has become much bigger than rankings, trophies, and prize money. It has become a story of determination. It has become a story of sacrifice. And for millions of Filipino fans, it has become a source of national pride. That is why many fans hope that one incorrect introduction will not become the version of Alex Eala's story that international audiences remember. Because her story is not defined by where she trains. It is not defined by how many countries she visits. And it is certainly not defined by one sentence spoken during a live broadcast. Her story is defined by the years of work that brought her to the international stage. It is defined by the Philippine flag she continues to carry. And it is defined by the country and the fans who have supported her journey from the beginning. No matter where Alex plays next, the story remains the same. A young Filipino athlete left home, trained around the world, faced enormous challenges, and continued climbing higher. And every time she walks onto the court representing the Philippines, she adds another chapter to that story. So perhaps the biggest lesson from this controversy is simple. International success does not erase your roots. It can actually make those roots even more meaningful. Alex Eala may be a global tennis player now, but her journey began in the Philippines. And for the fans who have followed her from the junior ranks to the biggest stages of professional tennis, that will always be an important part of who she is. What do you think? Was the CBC statement simply an honest mistake that should be forgotten? Or do you believe the network should have done better research before introducing Alex Eala? Do you think international broadcasters should be more careful when identifying athletes who represent their countries? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more stories, updates, and developments surrounding Alex Eala and the world of tennis.